going to call the meeting to order, please. This is the Houston County Hospital District Regular Board of Directors meeting. The date is October the 18th, 2011. First item on the agenda, got right here. We have two sets of minutes. We're going to approve the first set, which will be September the 11th. Y'all would pick those and then somebody's ready.
I so moved that they be approved.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I second the motion.
Okay. Any discussion on those minutes? That's the September 20th. That was 4 weeks ago. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Good. Thank you. Next item, Dick, would be the September financials, please, sir.
Does everybody have their packets?
Yeah, but I didn't get the financials. Do you have to have an extra copy?
I came in a second class. Oh,
You need this back?
oh, we got one.
No.
You didn't turn it over.
Who else?
It's not in the mail.
Okay, Dick.
All right, this financials for September 30th, 2011. Cash in bank, $490,368.14. Total cash in bank plus the CDs of $2,574,682. Taxes receivable, $38,520.74. Prepaid insurance, $4,617.38. Depreciable assets, $4,979,835.40. Construction in progress, $1,500,000. Cash in medical library fund, $15,803.13. And surplus certificate, $38,984.52, making a total of assets of $9,152,443.17. Reserve for taxes uncollected, $38,520.74. Fund balance, $3,661,372.67. Fund balance invested in capital assets, $4,979,835.40. And net income for the 12-month period ending September 30th, 2011, $472,714.36. Any questions on the balance sheet? Next page, profit and loss year to date. For the month of September, total income for the month of $16,808.30. That includes the payments from EPMC, rent from EMS building, interest income of $5,198.18, and taxes received of $2,656.59. Expenses for the residential housing, janitorial $280, utilities $204, and open house expense of $80. Taxes, tax district expense of $21.30. My fee of $600 plus another fee of $75. Insurance of $434.10. Repairs of $484. Net income for the month $14,629.19. Net income for the 12-month period $472,714.36. Next page is profit and loss versus the budget. We amended the budget for the fiscal year, and you'll notice that actually EMS, they pay two payments in September. One is actually prepayment for October. So we're over budget $3,328.75 for the year. The largest one being interest income of $2,197.21. As far as expenses are concerned, they're basically variance is less than $1,000. Year to date, net income of $472,714.36. We budgeted $468,861. We're over budget of $3,853.01. Deposit detail. Interest income of $1,731.55. EMS rent $900. Payment from the ETMC of $7,153.53. Tax received of $2,656.59. Another CD interest $3,145.39. This is a deposit by ETMC. This is one of those UPL deposits of $191,235.86. Another payment from ETMC for EMS building rent of $900, and then the interest on the checking account of $308.26. Check detail, direct TV of $106, Windstream $98, state comptroller, that's the UPL, the money moving out, $191,235.86, overhead door, $207, my fee of $600, the taxes, tax district expense of $21.30, Irma Chavez, that's the housekeeper, another check, overhead door, $277, Critter Getters, that is pest control for the, sorry, that was charged, that's not us. That is for the residential housing, and a fee to Chris McDermott for being at the last board meeting. Any questions on the expenses? As far as the investment summary, not anything changed. The 3 CDs are all at 1.25% interest, and the checking account is at 0.75. Any questions on the financials?
I'd like to hear a motion to approve the financials, please.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, Dr. Walker Wonder.
If you guys remember back in June, we approved the spend up to $12,000 for those new computers for the nursing school, and they've been bought and are in place. And this is the final bill at $10,293.88. There's all kinds of breakdowns on it. I'll pass it that way toward Dick so it can be funded and anybody can look at it on the way. Okay. I think we've already voted to do this back in June.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Have we written a check on this yet?
That's why I'm passing it to
Okay,
Dick.
so we will check on this.
You have another set of minutes from October the 4th. That was the meeting in Don Roberts. I've actually had a chance to read those. Let's take just a minute to look at it. Whenever y'all ready to make a motion. Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Whitefeld. Oh, I'm sorry, by Ms. Dawson. Did you make it? Yeah, Ms. Dawson. I wasn't recognizing this. Second, your motion?
I second that motion.
Okay. No questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's approved unanimously. Okay, we have a depository contract from First Community Bank. Dick, they're the only ones that have been bidding on that, are they not?
Right, it's not something that banks find attractive these days. And bottom line, we're not doing anything fancy except all the money's being invested at the CDs at the current bank rate. And their obligation is that due to the size of the deposits, that exceed FDIC coverage, they have to pledge bonds to cover our overage deposit. So they're willing to do that, and so I recommend that the board accept their deposit contract.
So moved.
Thank you, a second. George, second. Everybody understand, we're not exposed on our deposits. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, we have a letter from the auditor that we used in the past to do our audit again this year. So Kim Johnson from the Todd Hamilton Johnson in Lufkin. Dick, would you like to expand on that?
I think that the experience with Kim was good last year. That first of all, she was very prompt, and she actually had to do 2 years. And if we get this done tonight, I think we probably should have the audit back by at least the December meeting. Well, we're not going to have a December meeting, at least the January meeting.
I think it was like 10,000 last year, but that was because it was 2 years, the first time, so we anticipated it being cheaper.
We did not discuss fees. I doubt it would be cheaper.
We did 2 years before.
I don't think, I may stand corrected, then it will be cheaper.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't think this is a complex organization, it seems like a lot of money. I don't know, is it common?
I'll have to go back and check.
We estimate our fee will be $9,000.
For this year?
Yeah.
Is that, Deb, I mean, your CPA, doesn't it sound pretty good?
It seems high, but I think we should question the 2 years versus the 1 year. And she said not more than 9,000, so.
She says not more than that. So it might come in at 900.
it might be that 9,000.
Very good.
What is y'all's pleasure? Do you want Dick to get a little better, firmer commitment?
I wasn't really trying to argue about it. It just seems like, it wouldn't seem like this would be, you did give some pretty good records. I mean, nothing inside. It'd be a straightforward audit to me.
We can go back and ask for some clarification on that and see. I'll get back with you in November meeting, or ask her to attend the meeting. How's that?
Well, did they give you an estimate of hours spent on it? Or that's not the way you do them?
No, I mean,
Yeah, that's how they do it. And that's probably where she got her estimate, was anticipating how many hours she was. But I think Patrick and Deborah are both right that it seems that a 1 year audit should be more than 10% less than a 2 year audit. Is that right, Deborah?
I would think so.
So why don't you, the next meeting, if you report back to us what you
Okay.
found, and if you want to have her here, that'll be just
Okay.
fine. Thank you. Okay, I asked Dick to put on the agenda his compensation because I don't think we're paying you the same thing we paid you since you came on. Is that correct?
No, I think at the time that I started being, at the time that ETMC quit providing the minute taking and the production of the minutes to the board, then the board asked me to come and take those minutes and present the minutes to the board. So at that time, yes,
Okay, and how long was that taking?
I'd say 4 years.
Okay. Well, I think we definitely need to increase Dick's compensation. He's probably been spending more time as of late than he had in the past.
Did that include you handling the election also?
It did not, and that was one thing I would mention to the board, that, you you can't adjust for that because not each year there's an election. An election does take a lot of time, and I would not be opposed to someone, else, if we could find somebody that would be willing to conduct the election. There could be some money saved on the cost of the election. The biggest expense is Lovelady. The way the Lovelady has those 4 or 5 polling places, and there's a large cost there. But it's real involved. You'd have to go back to Washington and ask for permission to have one voting box in Lovelady, and then you would save the cost of hiring employees in all those different boxes. But, you may or may not be successful in that request, because it would make a voter in Lovelady have to travel to 2 different polling places to cast 2 different votes. But otherwise, I think the fee to Lovelady was actually $2,500 last year. And if you'll notice, the cost of the election is up to about $10,000 and $8,400. I'm sorry. But anyway, no, it's the election, and like I said, this was the second election. But they're not every year, but they could be every year. So I think if you just set aside the amount of money to minister an election that would be sufficient for it. And if we could find somebody that would be willing to, the election school is coming up in December, and someone needs to attend that school.
And where is it?
It's in Austin.
Is the way it's set up in Lovelady, is that just a provision under the Voting Rights Act?
Well, it is the way it's been, since I guess, they participated with the various school districts, okay? And due to the fact that that's the way Lovelady School District is, that's the way the hospital district is. It's not to say, the hospital district does not have to participate with the school district. It's just that it's cheaper to do it that way. And it's also difficult to find judges and assistant judges in these remote areas that are even willing to serve.
Yeah.
And but you could have 2 sets of judges in those different polling places that would actually perform the job and not participate if you so chose. Or you could try to get a consolidated box and possibly save some money.
So we're talking about 2 different things here. Now, if I understand right, your compensation that we pay you monthly does not apply to the election judge duties, is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. If you remember long ago, a longtime board member, Winnie Langford, basically was secretary of the board for a long time. And she basically sort of ran the elections. I mean, she was the administrator or the coordinator of the elections. And the only thing we do is we have somebody to verify those names. Yeah.
So we're really talking about 2 different issues here. Do we need to, we don't need to make a decision on the election judge tonight?
Oh,
Okay, good. Well, why don't we set that aside, and let's get back to the compensation.
I was the person that asked you to put that on the agenda, since I have been on the board. I came on the board after he started that job, because he's the only person that I have observed in that position. And it just seemed to me that commensurate with the duties that he does, and since we have not mentioned a raise, and he has not brought it up magnanimously, it just seemed to me that it would be appropriate for us to consider some type of raise for Mr. Murchison.
And I was glad
That's why I
that you did
should put it on the
suggest that at the
agenda.
last meeting. I appreciate you doing that. Did you have any suggestions?
Yes.
I asked Dick to bring up suggestions. He didn't want to do that.
Okay. I do have a suggestion. It's more or less an arbitrary figure because I don't have any comparison things, but given the economics of the way things work, I was thinking $200 a month raise. That was going to be my motion if the motion was called for.
Okay. That would raise it to $800, which is certainly not unreasonable by any means. Does anyone have any comments or? Okay, so she's made a motion.
I am making that motion.
Okay, I'll entertain a second. Okay, we've got 2 seconds here. There being no more discussion, I assume, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And there's none opposed. Thank you. Mr. Cutler, would you like to give us a?
Yes, 2 short items. One is October 31st ends the ETMC fiscal year, and for fiscal year, I'm sorry, for 2010, 2011. And busy times, budgeting, et cetera, but we did, looks like, so far we're going to end on a high note. We've made some money. It's kind of difficult to do in these times, as you all know. The second issue is I was asked by someone about start day for construction in the surgical area back here. And I don't have a start date. I asked that question earlier, but I guess I have the ending date. We know we have to be complete by December the 31st, 2012. So with the start date out of the way, we know that we've got a contract and we've got to be complete by that day. So.
Well, I was told that it should go out for bids by the end of the month.
Okay.
I don't know how many days or weeks are involved in reviewing the bids. That's not our responsibility. That'll be Robert Layton and his crew. So, what else?
That's all.
Okay.
Were the blueprints completed before? I thought, were they fully completed? I thought you didn't.
He was gonna talk to Mark 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he was for 5 weeks notice. He was gonna have them completed by a week today.
Mark has.
The 11th is when he said that they were all, you know, I think they had completed, they'd sent them off to the state to get all the little approvals that they needed there.
You all don't think we should look at those? I mean, they were made several years ago. I mean,
Did we finalize those at some point in time? Didn't we look at that and say we thought that was pretty complete? We just hadn't seen the completion. We didn't see the complete.
Okay, I guess I'd just like to, personally, I'd like to see the blueprint before we sign off on them. I mean, things have changed, times have changed. And these were scheduling, plans of operating rooms, which I've been living in for 30 years.
Okay, well,
I personally would like to look and see, if things have changed in the way we do them even in a few years. I think it'd be reasonable for and probably Dr. Morrison and anybody else that wants to look at them to see if they're.
well, would you like to arrange that yourself, or do you want to wait for the board?
Either way, I mean, does anybody else on the board want to look at them? I mean, I think Ray, you probably want to.
My question is about the way the bids.
Well, that's why I'm asking how he wants to handle
I mean,
it.
if you want to
If y'all can do it before it goes out to
Do
bid.
you want, I would suggest that somebody on the board, be call the architects and ask them to come over one day for a public showing, and anybody on the board could come look, plus anybody in the public could come look, and I think if I were building it, I'd get the owners to look at it as well and get their opinions. I mean, they live there as well, and there's a lot of flux in the operating room, but on the other hand, they still have, someone who's been back in operating rooms a while, and I think nurses give a really good, they can give some really good recommendations about some fine points that particularly architects that might miss, that don't live in operating rooms. So that would be my recommendation, that the architects come over for a public showing.
Would you mind calling Mark and discuss that with the place?
Okay, does that sound okay to the board?
Sure.
Sounds
I
good.
think
And I think we ought to invite anybody from ETMC and anybody from the operating room, particularly look at them, to make comments about some fine points that
I'm sure Mark would be glad to bring one here.
just set them up here in the what used to be the cafeteria.
Let's see if you can raise that, would be great.
Dr. Stovall, did they tell you they're going out, they've gone out for bid?
They said they would be available to go out for bids by the end of October.
Well, that works. They've already gone.
They have?
No, I was gonna say, if
Oh,
they've
no,
gone.
no, they haven't, no, no. That was my understanding. He's gonna call Mark and I'll call Byron. Okay.
So sometime they'll be here before the next board meeting, some point in time.
Yes.
Can you imagine the next week or two?
Well, I hope.
Gotta be here shortly.
I mean, it seemed like.
We really don't want to postpone them going
Right,
out
I'm
for
saying,
bids
we're
more
not
than,
there.
you know, a
You're
week
here
or
by
so.
next week,
a month.
so-
That'd be good. Okay. Well, we're down to the exciting part now, public comments. Oh, I'm sorry. Deborah asked me to give her a slot here, and I'm glad to do it. Thank you, Deborah. Excuse me.
As some of you know, at our last meeting, we appointed a committee to review the lease. We had our first meeting October the 13th at 4:30 at the Renaissance Surgery Center. Myself, Deborah Blackwell, and Barbara Krausen attended. Dr. Morrison was unable to attend, and Dr. Stovall was not present. I did prepare an outline of Article 1 of the lease. Barbara and I reviewed it. The one thing that we realized that we are going to need is an updated legal description of land and improvements that's owned by UTMC or from the Houston County Hospital District. That's going to be just sort of a first thing, because over the years we've had lease modifications, and there's been some land that ETMC either deeded us or leased to us, and so I think we need to know which land is ours and which
Absolutely.
land is ETMC's. Dr. Morrison had talked to me before the meeting, and a review of the legislative calendar, and correct me if I'm wrong in this, if Congress cannot reach a consensus by December 23rd, then all the proposed spending cuts will go into effect. That will have a significant negative impact on reimbursements for both ETMC and all other medical providers. As we were sitting there, the committee reviewed the purpose of the Houston County Hospital District for our bylaws. And I'm just going to go ahead and read it to you. And this is just one part of it. I summarized it as best I could. Houston County Hospital District is to provide and manage facilities, personnel, and services to serve best the needs of patients, to improve the standards of health care in the community, to encourage education and training of hospital employees and staff, and to maintain the quality of patient care that is achievable, commensurate with resources available. And I'd just like to review that so we make sure we're all on the same page. We agreed that we definitely needed to have a cohesive medical community, including ETMC and all the medical providers. And here's the one thing that really came out of the meeting, and there seems to be a lack of information about ETMC operations to many of these board members. I know we have 3 doctors on the board that go in and out of the hospital every day and see a lot of things going on, but they don't even have the whole picture, I'm sure. But the rest of us would like some more information of knowing what's going on. And so what I've drafted is a letter to give to Mr. Cutler of some of the information that I personally would like to see and would like to be able to share with the board. And then we can get together and decide what we can get easily or need some time. Since I was on the UTMC Crockett board, I had the advantage at that time of seeing the monthly financial information. And I'm not on that board anymore, and so some of the things that I've asked for are some of the things that I used to be able to see in Alabama. But anyway, I will, if it's okay with the board, I will get that information to Mr. Cutler, and we'll work on that. At the last meeting, we also made a comment about if the public wanted to address the committee, make any comments, or the board in general, that we should have a contact point. And what we'd like to do is invite the public to have any comments or questions presented to the Houston County Hospital District Board of Directors, care of Dick Murkison at 500 East Houston Avenue, Crockett, Texas 75835. We've set our next committee meeting for November the 16th.
November what?
16th,
Wednesday.
a Wednesday, November 16th. So I'll give a little summary report at each one of the board meetings.
Very good. Well,
Good.
now it's obvious why I asked you to be chairman. Thank you, Deborah. Did a good job. Sorry, I almost skipped over you. Do we have any other comments from the audience tonight? Board? Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.